You have just now tuned into the Organic Vision Podcast, where we are here to keep you motivated to bring your visions to reality, encouraging you to never give up on yourself no matter what. Want to ensure you don't miss an episode or any of our content? Please subscribe to our YouTube channel at ORGVSNPOD and Instagram at ORGVSN_POD. Keep chasing those visions, y'all.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Welcome back, man, to the Organic Vision Podcast. I go by the name of Ty. I hope you guys are having a very blessed day out there today. I hope you're doing all that you can to get to your dreams, your destination, your vision, whatever that means for you. Thank you for coming back, man. Thank you for tuning in to episode number 7, titled The American Rat Race. Thank you for coming back each week, man. Thank you for your support. Thank you if you just want to tap in for a couple minutes. You don't got time to make it all the way through, but just whenever you got time in your schedule, man, go through the whole thing for me, man. I really appreciate it, man. You are really helping me to get to my dreams and the vision that God had placed in my soul and my heart. And I really appreciate you, man. But thank you. This episode, it was a point in time where I was in this space. I feel like this can be beneficial to you if you can relate to the American rat race, if you can relate to doing what you think you are supposed to do and not kind of seeking from within, not using our own minds, not using our own tools at our own hands to figure out what it is that we want sometimes instead of what the world is asking for us. I was definitely in this point, but I do want to talk a little bit about it. I do want to dive into it, but there were phases I touched, right? There was phases where I was kind of just thinking to myself, like, man, like, why don't people see my worth? Why don't people appreciate my efforts? Why are they so focused on the results? Why am I just looked at as a number? Why can't I be looked at for what I bring to the table in its whole totality? It's a lot of careers and things that I've been a part of. It's always been about getting to a number or getting to a goal or getting to a line or getting to this space, this place. Like, it's always a hustle and bustle to get to a number that I don't even see a fraction of. Even if my performance is A1, like, I'm not everything that I put into it, the sacrificing from my family, the time away, putting all this stuff into this job and this career or whatever the case may be, whatever it is for you. For me, it wasn't working out. For me, it didn't pan out to be the way that I wanted it to be. I wasn't getting out what I put in, and I understand the dynamic of it. I get it. I understand what a business is. And this is not a podcast. It may not be for everyone. A lot of people like the rat race. A lot of people want to be a part of the rat race and the American dream and doing things like you got to get the white picket fence, you got to get the nice car, you got to get this, you got to take your 2 vacations a year. Like, a lot of people like that, and there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just speaking to those that they see a little bit more for themselves. They want to just kind of create the life that they want, and they want to kind of not be told when to do this, not be told when to do that. And I get it. Like, I'm still in the spot where I have to depend on an employer right now. But I think the crazy part of this all is I've depended on an employer before with no plan of what I wanted. And so now I'm with an employer with the plan of what I want and kind of working my plan under, theirs and what they need first. But we're gonna jump into all that. I ain't want to jump in there too soon, but just want to give you a little bit of preview if you want to hang out, if you want to continue to listen in. That's what we're gonna be talking about today, man. Those phases, those highs and lows of, like, is this for me? Why do I feel this way? Why do I feel like, I'm not being appreciated? Why do I feel like no one's taking me serious? Why do I feel like I always have to fight 10 times harder for the things that I need, the things that I want? Why is everybody just after me for a number? And when I can put that number up, they give me another one, So that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today, a little bit about that journey, that my experience of the American rat race, what good things came out of it, what bad things came out of it. But I just want to remind you, man, if you're about to click off, if you're about to go, you got 24 hours in a day. You got 24 hours to figure out how you're going to spend time with your family, how you're going to create some fun for yourself, how you're going to make a living. Like, really think about that. Really think about how the best way that you can utilize your 24 hours. It's a constant struggle for me. I'm not going to lie to you. Just balancing life and balancing building a business, balancing, am I spending enough time with my wife? Am I spending enough time with my son Zig. You know, are they getting what they need from me? Is the business getting what it needs from me? And just it's a constant battle, and it's constantly trying to figure that thing out. But I feel like all parties involved, if we kind of just communicate and let each other know what we're trying to do, that may be everything you need to kind of figure it out. Where should you put but where should your eggs be placed? Your 24 eggs, where what buckets should you drop them in? And this is going to be a really good one. I just kind of want to kick it off with this, man. So I would ask myself a bunch, man, like, why can't I be successful? Like, why don't people see my worth? Why am I having to go through all of this? Like, why does it feel like I'm having to put so much in and not getting that much out? You know, I felt like I was being played sometimes. I just felt like I was just being used as a pawn. And I noticed, man, just hindsight's always 2020, and I always promote reflection. I promote looking back on your journey from time to time and just kind of figuring out it's like a reassessment. You know, in businesses, you have quarterly reviews. For example, if you have an appraisal, like you're going through like, all right, what did I do good? What could have, what could I done a little bit better? What are some spots that I could have like sprinkled a little bit more of my sauce on it? And that's what I promote all the time, man. Just go back and just spend a couple minutes just figuring out, all right, I did this, this worked, this didn't work, this worked really well, this I could have done a little bit more differently. And then just tap in with yourself, check in with yourself. What do you need to do? What adjustments do you need to make? And I found myself, man, like when I was going back and kind of reviewing and reflecting of like what I was doing and from I took myself out of myself, right? I went up high. I took a bird's eye view of like everything, man. And I felt like the reasons why I was feeling those things is one, I was seeking validation and recognition, right? I needed somebody to tell me like, that's good, you should do that or man, you did a great job. It was just like I didn't feel like I was successful. I didn't feel like I completed the job in totality if no one told me that. If no one was like saying, "Man, you did great today." I felt like, man, I just did all this work and nobody listened to it. Nobody said anything about it. That was a record I broke and nobody even said a word about it. You know, I felt like that a lot of times. I also felt like I had to please people. I felt that I had to please people to get promotions. I felt like I had to please people, um, just to showcase my image, to keep what image I thought I had up and continue to upgrade it as I thought my age went up. I thought possessions should increase. I felt like as I got older, I should have more materialistic items. I felt like as I got older, I should have more money in the bank. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of not ever connecting with myself and figuring out what I wanted. I felt like I was always on the chase for what somebody thought I should have, and then me trying to make sure I got it. So I'm like, yeah, 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 I got that. I got it, and that's a killer, man. That'll kill you. And just trying to appeal to everyone, trying to be everyone's favorite, trying to be everyone's this, everyone's that, trying to be on the highest pedestal on everybody's marking, everybody's hierarchy plan or chart that they have and just always devoting my life to someone else. Never really taking inventory for myself and figuring out why is this stuff happening? Like, why, if I don't respect myself, why would somebody else? And if I'm putting the progress of myself or the validation that I'm enough in someone else's hands, I'm always gonna be out there like, yo, did I do this good? Did I do this good? Is this good? How this look? Hey, did I look good to you? Would you buy this? Does this color look right? Should I mix this color with that color? And should I say this like this? Should I go to this meeting? Should I talk to them this way? I'm like always asking somebody, just give me something. Tell me if I'm doing it right. Tell me if I'm doing it good. Tell me if it's enough. Tell me if it's valuable enough. Tell me if you appreciate this. And it's like, man, like I'm gonna run myself in the ground at a very early age, trying to appeal to the masses, trying to appeal to all these friendships and relationships I have, and not letting them trying to always be the strong one, not always wanting to be vulnerable, not always wanting to share my mistake. At some point, it was a point in time well, I didn't want people to know my mistakes. I didn't want people to know, like, I messed up. I didn't want people to know that I went through things. I went through traumas. I went through certain situations. I didn't wanna share that. Like, why would I want somebody to know that I filed bankruptcy? Just certain things, man, that I was out there and I'm like, people will, like, really jump all over me, bro. if they knew what I did, and it's like, when are you gonna get it? Like, you go through these things, man, and if I'm always relying on somebody else's approval, if I'm always relying on somebody else, man, it's like never gonna be enough. It's never gonna be enough, and I'm always gonna be following them, and I'm always gonna be at their beck and call because I'm there to please them. I'm there to please that person, and not living my true life, not living who I am. And it became very exhausting, man. It became so exhausting, and, what I started to do was it was just self-inflicted pressures of life, right? Like, really believing I wasn't enough and entertaining a whole lot of negativity and, just not believing in myself. Not believing in myself because someone else said it wasn't enough, or not believing in myself because someone else said they didn't like it. You know how many people in this world, and I'm just listening to one voice or two voices or three voices. I ain't even hit 100 yet. I mean, it's always gonna be somebody out there that disagrees with you, or is not on the same level with you, or doesn't think like you, or doesn't visualize like you. They just truly don't understand. And they only using their own experiences that they've gone through in life to tell you if what you're doing is right or wrong or will work or won't work. And we got to be honest about what these things are to ourselves. Like, do I honestly feel passionate about trying to build a clothing brand? Do I honestly feel passionate about this podcast? If people don't watch it, am I still going to come back next week? Like, those are the questions you should ask before you even start. Like, before you even jump into something, like, make sure it's coming from within. Make sure it's something that you really, truly love to do. Because honestly, I don't have the best results. I don't have the best results with the podcast. I don't have the best results with my clothing brand, but I know that I love what I'm doing. I know that I'm gonna do it if I got one person watching. I'm gonna do it if I got one person making a purchase. It's because I love the process. I like the process of like figuring out a design. I like the process of figuring out, all right, what do I want this garment to say? Or what do I want this podcast message to come off as? Like, what am I trying to promote? What am I trying to really say at the end of the day? And I felt like, being able to go back and share my experiences with someone that we all go through the same things in life, right? I may not go through every single thing that you go through, but as a human, you're going to go through certain things. It may look different, it may be from different people, it may be a different color, whatever. It's still the same. We all go through the same things in life. We all go through struggles. We all go through growth. We all go through experiences. And it's just me wanting to share mine to help somebody else find a new way, or not even find a new way, but like listen to my perspective in hopes that it'll help them to think through theirs, or what have you. But I just don't want people going through life as I did, being scared, man. Another thing is, early on I decided to abort a life. And it's like, after after the fact, I'm like, man, like, me and my wife was actually just talking about this. I'm like, man, like, I didn't tell nobody in my family because of what I thought they would say. Right? I didn't tell nobody because I was embarrassed because of the narrative that I heard, that, if you have a baby at a young age, or if you have a baby, and I wasn't really young, I was in college, but if you have a baby at this age, your future's done. It's a wrap, right? And it's just things that we go through in life, man, that we just feel so ashamed with, and we carry that. And it affects us, man. It affects us so much if we never talk about it. It affects us so much. Those decisions that we make, man, we young and we feel like, man, I got more life to live, right? And I got time to make this up or do that. But as I look back on that, man, I really feel like I made the wrong decision. And I really feel like I made the wrong decision based off of someone else's opinion. And if you look at that thing, man, look at how many times you've made a decision because you didn't want nobody to know about it, or you didn't want nobody to know that you made a slip up or this or that. You don't even know if they was gonna support you. You don't know if they was gonna wrap their arms around you. You don't know what they was gonna do. But I just want to be that voice, man. I'm willing to share anything. I'm willing to be as transparent as possible. As long as it's my experience, I'm not trying to tell no one else's story. So everything I talk about is gonna be my experience. I had skin in the game with every decision I made. So that was one thing that, it kinda haunts me here and there, and I think about what I coulda done and what I coulda been, and we always get in those modes, but don't stay there too long, man. Just realize what happened and make a better decision in the future for whatever the case may be for you. Another thing that would have me on this road, was just not really having a plan for myself. When I went to college, I, um I went to college because everybody else was going to college. I'll be 100% with you. I'm not mad, or I wouldn't change that, but I went to college because I thought it was the right thing to do. I didn't go to college because I was gonna sign up and go. I wanted to start a car wash business, but I wasn't as serious about it when I approached my pops with it, and he didn't quite understand because it kinda came out of left field, and I didn't put in no work. I didn't show him that I wanted to do that, so my pops was like, "Man, I don't want you to kinda use your hands, right? I want you to use your mind." And then that's another thing that we kinda go through, man, not having self-identity, like, using guidance so that it can help you, but not crumble you or cripple you. Taking the losses, taking the wins, taking the highs, taking the lows, but also taking the shots, taking the attempts. Now, this is all my experience, right? So, I mean, after going to college, it was an actual beautiful experience. It would actually help me out a ton. So I'm actually really, really glad that I did go. But I often ask myself, since I'm back at this point of wanting to build a business and be an entrepreneur, like what if I would have started years ago? But when we get in those spots, man, you got to think about the experiences that you had along the way that like are like you can't put money on. I can't put money on friendships that I got from college, things that I learned, lessons I learned. I can't put a dollar on that stuff. I can't. Like I built a lot of bonds, a lot of relationships, went through a lot of things that helped me figure out who I was at some point, even though I wasn't really clear the whole time. But I wouldn't take the college experience away. It was just something that I kind of went with the flow of other people. But I've been going with the flow of other people for far too long. So yeah, I was no real plan, man. And I always felt like I was in a mindset of always being in a rush. Always in a rush. Man, I want to be independent. I want my own apartment. Right. Man, I need a job. I got a job. I had to get a permit to get a job. I got a job as early as I could get a job. I got a job. And I wanted to the story behind the job. I wanted to real quick. I wanted to be able to buy my own clothes. I wanted to be able to get the Jordans when I wanted to get the Jordans, not get the Jordans when my mom said I could go get the Jordans, right? So I got the job. I bought my whole wardrobe for the following year in high school. I was proud of myself, man. I was proud of myself, but it brought upon work ethic early on. And watching my pops and my mom, my grandfather, really all of my family, man. They work. They some workers, man. They work. They go to work. I picked that up early on, and I got a job as soon as I possibly could. But I think that also trained me into this American rat race, right? It kind of trained me to always be going at it, right? And we spend all this time in the day for what I'm gonna call pennies on the dollar, just to get this or just to get that, and we gotta. My mindset now. I'm not saying my mindset when I first got the job. I enjoyed all of my jobs. I enjoyed all of the experiences as a whole. Obviously, never nothing's perfect, but as a whole, I enjoyed it all, and I gained a lot. And I wouldn't go back and say, I would change this, I would change this, I would change this. I'm just trying to catch you at a spot where you maybe are going or fighting amongst yourself, trying to figure out, am I doing this for the right reasons? And just really think about it. Like, think if it's for you. Like, not don't do stuff just because people want you to do it or they feel like, I think you'd be great at this. You should try it. If it's not a passion of yours, if it's not nothing that's coming from within you, I don't know if you really need to waste your time, because you're still not gonna be happy because you're not doing what you want to do, right? And there's levels to that. There's levels to doing what you want to do, right? I don't mean not putting in no work, no work ethic, just kind of lounging all day. I mean, like going after something that you see for yourself, that you have visualized, you put some thought behind, you put your little pen to the paper, you wrote out your little plan, things you want to do in life. That's what I mean by that. Not just doing what you're doing, not just meaning like I want to relax all day. I don't think I would ever wanna do that. I don't think I would ever wanna be on vacation all day. I still would wanna work. Like, even if I had it all, even if the amount of money that I couldn't even spend in my lifetime, if it was at my disposal, I would wanna work. I've done it for so long, but the difference between now is I'm learning how to use the word "no," right? In a job, like, my biggest time with an employer, we never used the word "no." We we asked ourselves, how can we work around this scenario to please the customer? Or how can we do this to please the customer? So I get that, but there was never a situation where you should be using the word no. And I get it if I'm the owner of the company. I get it if I have a stake in the company and I'm not physically doing the work. I get that. Like, we don't want to turn away what can help us grow. I get it. Um, I fully understand that. However, when I'm saying no and it's costing me time away from my family when I should be home, when I'm saying no and it's costing me time on a vacation that I don't get to spend that often, and I say no, when I'm just sitting at the house and my phone is ringing and I'm in a position that I should answer it, when do I say no? When do I build this confidence up to be able to say no to a customer or say no to a manager after I done said yes and have figured it out for 9 plus years? Like, why should I now start to use the word no? And that kind of it molded my mind in the world to, like, not say no to family, not say no when somebody needed something, and it was an inconvenience. Not just saying no to say no, but saying no when you really don't desire to do it and you have good reason. Not saying no because you wanna say no all the time. Like, I say yes all the time, and it's a burnout. It'll burn you out if you just yes, 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 yes. Like, some point you gotta choose yourself, some point you gotta choose time with your family, some point you have to choose, like, what is it that I want? And not always asking a question like, "How can I help somebody?" Or, "How can I be there for somebody?" How can I be there for me? When am I gonna be there for me? Right? Like, when am I gonna stop listening to the world, and when am I gonna really do something that I wanna do with my family and my little inner circle? And when am I gonna do this, and when am I gonna do that? Like, time ain't gonna stop. So, I think I should probably make these decisions right now, take the sacrifice on, do whatever I gotta do, but start building that thing that I can't live without. Like, and I don't mean money, like, I'm to a point where everything is not about money. I know we need it, it's essential. I'm an advocate for having some to be able to share, but that's, again, not me, that's me trying to do something for somebody else. So I think a lot about, man, if I had this amount of money, I could go help this person, I could go help this person, and that's great, that's good. I'm not gonna lose that. But there comes a time where I have to build myself first. I can't help people when I can't even help myself. Like, I can't extend me when I'm needing to be uh my inner self needs to be kind of rebuilt, rebranded. My inner workings need to be reassessed, adjust. They need to be tweaked to the new this thing that I'm trying to get to, this place that I'm trying to go, and the people that I want to take with me. So I was very afraid of using the word no. That may be a problem of yours, that may not, but I did not want to disappoint nobody, no matter what it cost me, no matter what the inconvenience was. I wanted to be there for you anytime that I could. I'm sorry, every time that I could. Every time you asked, I wanted to be there for you. I wanted to do it. I did. I wanted to. And I did a lot of times. Um, and it was tough on me when I couldn't help you. It was so tough on me. I took it so hard. I took it harder than probably you. If you ever asked me something and I couldn't do it, it did something to me. It did something to me. I couldn't sleep through the night without thinking about it. And I'm like, man, why can't I be like this for myself? I always want to give. I always want to do this. I always want to do this for this person. I always want to do this for that person. And I just found myself a very good example of this is during the holidays, man. When I go home for the holidays, everybody wants to see you. And I want to see them too. I want to see everybody. And that 24 hours is ticking. It's ticking. and I'm sitting down, we having a good time at this place, and then I know I got 3, 4, 5 other people I gotta get to, and the day is darn near gone. But I'm enjoying this moment, and I don't wanna, like, say, "Hey, I gotta go." I don't wanna do that. It's hard for me to leave my pop's house when I go there because I'm like, "We having such a good time, but I know I gotta go here, and this person wanted to see me, and that person wanted to see me." I'm like, "God help me, cause I don't know how to do this." I don't I'm always conflicted, man, and it's always like it's so many places to go that I want to go. It's not like I'm being dragged there. But it's like, man, I don't know who to go to, how to spend this time. And it's just never enough time. It's just never enough time. And it stresses me out every year, man. Every year I go home, I'm like, man, I want to do this with my bro. I want to do this with my cousins. I want to do this with my mom. I want to do this with my dad. I want to do this with my grandmother. I want to do this with my aunts and my uncles. I want to do all of these things. I wanna go see my grandfather. I wanna go see all my loved ones that I lost at the gravesite. I wanna do all of this, man, and it hurts me every time I can't do it. Every time I miss somebody, it hurts this. It does, and I'm like, "Man, what do I do? How do I get out of this? How do I shake this? Like, how do I figure this out?" And honestly, I haven't. That's something I'm still working on to this day. So, you got any tips, anything you do during the holidays, anything that helps you out while you're trying to maneuver a lot of households you gotta see, a lot of doors you gotta open, a lot of hugs and kisses and things that you have to do. Drop some in the comments, man. Help your brother. Help me out, man. Help me out. The other thing is I was unsure of me, man. Having a cloudy vision, not really knowing what I wanted to do, and not allowing myself to figure it out. Feeling ashamed if I started something that had to stop because it just wasn't. I didn't like it. I didn't want to do it. And that can be confusion to the people around you. It could seem like you jumping. It could seem like you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you want to do, and that's true. You don't. I didn't, and I'm like, well, I thought I wanted to do that, but now I want to do that. I thought I wanted to do this. Now I want to do that, and it's just like we jump, 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 jump. We jumping, 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 and it's like, all right. So yeah, man, I was just jumping, jumping, trying to figure it out though. That was my way of figuring things out is just the experience. Um, but I'm finding it's better to like not waste all that time, not confuse people, um, not put people through the changes that they literally can see that you don't know what it is that you want to do. And my wife told me time and time again, why don't you just sit down and just write it out? Just write it out. Just write some things down. Write some things. My wife is brilliant, smart, and a lot of times I'm on like 100. My speed is 100. My mind is literally going at 100, and I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I got you, I got you." And it's like, I hear you, but I didn't hear you. And it's like, my experience is telling me that I didn't hear you. Like, I heard what you said. I did. Your volume, your articulation was perfect, but I wasn't listening. And if you're in that spot, man, where you're just running, 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 you get caught in this rabbit race, the rat race, whatever you call it. I do think the best thing to do is stop and collect your thoughts. Sometimes that means writing them down so you can visualize what you're thinking. I think when you see it, you're like, huh, nah, I don't think I want to do that. And like really assessing, not just taking something because it's available, not just jumping at an opportunity because it's being handed to you or you earned it, but understanding what is it going to do to the dynamic. One thing I did really good, I felt towards the middle or latter part of my career with my last employer was I had a plan on how to get to the position I wanted. And that was the first time I did this. A lot of times I was just following the tree. Companies have this tree where you start here and you can go up the ladder and it's this position and this position. And so I was utilizing that, but I was utilizing it to where I wanted to go. And I felt like for once I was like, okay, if I do this, I'm gonna get here because these are the prerequisites. So I'm gonna make sure I got all the prerequisites, and I'm gonna figure out my journey, figure out my path. I'm gonna jot it down. Okay, boom, I'm gonna do this. Boom, boom, boom. All right, we over here. Okay, I'm gonna go there. All right, boom. So I got it. So, I was vocal about these things, man. And then I'm not gonna get into that again, but if you want, there's other podcasts where I talked about my career, and I just don't want to keep harping on that. But anyway, I think the second thing was when your vision is very cloudy, you have or you will experience a loss of stability from whatever your stability was at that point because you're in a constant pursuit or search of what you should be doing or what your purpose is or what do you really want to do in life. And I think it's also tough because you have to, if you're married or if you have a family, you can't be as ambitious out the gate without having certain conversations first. And that is a part that I missed a lot. Instead of having that conversation, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, and going through that brainstorming with your significant other, your partner, whatever the case may be, like, I think that I always looked at it like, okay, I know in the past I've asked for different type of like maybe opinions or things and not really asking the question, being very passive aggressive with it. Like saying stuff to see what the reaction is, but not really saying nothing. Right? So it was like, I think I wanna do this, and seeing what the reaction was, and if it wasn't what I thought it should be, or if they weren't as excited, which I don't know how anybody's gonna get excited about a statement. Like, you didn't give me any in-depth what you're gonna do, how you're gonna do it, why you wanna do it. You just said, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing this." And when I go back and think about it, I do a lot of think talking. I don't well, that's my definition of it. Like, I'll just talk. Sometimes a lot of times I'm talking to myself, but I'm just thinking through my thoughts vocally. I don't know if you do that, but I do it a lot. And I'll just be talking and I'll be like, I could do this like that, I can just flip it and I can turn it into this and then I can make this and then after that I want to do this and then just kind of talking myself through it like I'm in a conference room with a room full of people. I don't know if that's weird. It may be, I don't know. But I would do that and my wife would obviously hear me and then she's like, "Oh, you wanna that's what whatever her input was, she would provide it," and I'm like, "Oh, no, 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 I was just thinking out loud," which I really was, but at the same time, I was trying to gauge her thought process behind what I was saying, and I was like, "That is a horrible way of talking to your partner. That is a horrible way of communication. Like, if you're gonna say something, say it. If you want somebody's opinion, ask for it, but don't go around doing what I did and just, like, thinking people are gonna, like, take me serious for what I'm trying to do without having any dialogue. Be clear in what you need, be clear in your vision. Once you have it, keep it to yourself until you really understand what it is you wanna do. You don't wanna jump from one thing to another because when you're doing that and you're experiencing things aren't going your way and the things aren't when you jump into this and you jump into that and it didn't work out, it's tough to keep bouncing back and building your confidence and building it. I always looked at it like this. Well, I'm trying stuff and I'm trying to build my tolerance up for what it is that I want to do, but you can save so much time if you just write it down. Write it down, go through it. It's like, okay, do I see myself in this? Do I see myself pressing t-shirts? Do I see myself talking on a mic? Do I see myself recording myself? Do I see myself editing? Do I see myself doing right now? I'm in a phase where I'm wearing all the hats. And I like that because I can understand what it takes for each thing. I can understand what it takes to sit up here and talk and record this podcast and edit it, put artwork to it, put a description to it, post it on the channels that it needs to go to, push it with some promo, put it on my Instagram, put it on YouTube, do some trailers, start my clothing line brand, start with a name, start with a story, start with a purpose, then produce some product, figure out how I'm gonna manufacture the product. Am I gonna go to China or am I gonna do it in the United States? Am I gonna do it myself? Am I gonna hire somebody else to do it? What pieces of this thing do I like to do? Would I rather have hands on with the garments? Would I rather have a shop do it for me? What is the long term thing? Do I want to have a shop? Do I want to have equipment? All of these things we thinking about, right? If we wrote all these things down, you start with the thought, what it is that you want to do. All right, we know the basics of how we can get there. And if you don't, use Google, use YouTube, whatever your search preference is. Figure out, all right, how I'm going to start this thing. What is it going to take? How much money is it going to take? How much time is it going to take? Is it going to take money at all? Do I need more people to help me get it started? Go through all of that. Figure out what can you do, what it's going to take, how much involvement, how much sacrifice, how much time, and then, I mean, you could spend like an hour doing this. Once you go back and you look at it, sleep on it. Wake up the next day, take a look at all the things you wrote down, all the things it's going to take you to get this vision started. And are you going to be willing to manage that? Are you going to be willing to stick it out when there's no one paying you any amount? There's no one paying you any attention. No one's listening. Are you going to be able to go through all of that and continue to put up the shots each and every day? Can you do it? Yes. No, check off what you wanna do, check off what you don't wanna do, and go do it. Easy, easy. Now, obviously, there's things we don't know that's gonna happen. That's with anything. That's with anything. So make sure it's coming from within. Make sure it's something that you're excited about, you're passionate about, something that you really, really, really love and really wanna do. Make sure of that. All right. Um, And now, I mean, that was it. Those are the things I went through, the phases of like my little rat race times. And as I look back and reflect and trying to figure it out before I'm going to the next level and phase of my life, I don't want to bring none of this stuff with me. So I'm trying to figure out, all right, like, okay, I need to do this. I need to do this didn't work in the past. This didn't work in the past. I'm doing some of the same things so I can reference those points and those time frames, those timelines in order to propel me to the next level. So I have a lot of resources that I can pull from, but you're gonna have to start. You got to build some experience. You're gonna have to go through this thing slow, go through it slow, or however the process progress speeds up, go with it. But understand what you're gonna do, understand what it's gonna take. And don't waste no time if you don't have to. So to close it out, like I said, man, things that have helped me to figure out what I really wanted for myself and not listening to what the world is saying, not saying, hey, world says I gotta live this American dream. And these are the things that the American dream entails. Like, right. If that's what you want, you continue to do it. You continue. There's nothing wrong with the American dream for some. And I don't have an issue with it. It's just not for me, right? That I don't have any hatred towards the American dream or running that rat race. It is what it is. Like some people love it. Some people are gonna do it until they leave this earth, and I commend you for that. And it just doesn't do it for me anymore. But hey, there's something in this world for everyone. There's no right, there's no wrong. There's your way. There's your vision and what God has put inside of you to do while you're here on on this green earth, right? So write down your plan. Don't forget to put the work in. Don't write the plan down and throw it in the cabinet or throw it in the book and never open the book back up. You got to take some action. Take some action towards the plan and don't get caught up on the results, man. This is something brand new. All businesses that are really built with a great foundation that are not going away no matter what the recession is or what the economic state of this country is, they are built to last. And you can build something built to last too, but your foundation must be strong. So don't get caught up in like once you start this thing, like the results, like, oh man, I'm not getting no views, I'm not getting no views, I'm not getting no sales, I'm not getting no sales. If you got one view, if you got one sale, you're doing something that somebody wants to see or hear. So you use it. You work that one person, you serve them to the best of your ability, and you continue to elevate how enhance your process, make it more effective, speed it up, like make it, build the quality and let people see the growth of your story. Because what's going to happen when you finally get us following, you get an audience organically and they gravitate to you, all of that work that you put in, guess what? They're gonna go back and see it. They're gonna go back and view it. They're gonna go back and listen to it. They're gonna go back and buy it. You didn't do all that for nothing, but you can't stop because you don't see results. Like that's something I'm learning. That's something I've learned from the past and something that I'm willing to fight through, man. Just keep putting up the shots, keep taking shots, keep giving your all each and every time. And love every bit of what you do. Have fun with it. You should be having fun with this. This is, I know some of the business is straight business. Admin work is not always fun, but make some kind of fun out of it, man. Make it enjoyable. This is something that you're going to build and something that's going to be to take care of your family or however you want it to do, whatever you want it to do in your life. So treat it as such, man. Treat it as such. And lastly, don't quit. Don't quit on yourself. Don't quit on your dreams. Um, don't quit on the problems that you could solve if you were to continue on with this vision. Don't give it up. Don't give it up, man. Just keep going. Stay at it. I'm gonna continue to come back. Again, like I said, if God can continue to breathe life into me, and keep this blood beating, organic vision is here to stay, man. As long as I'm here, I'm gonna do everything that I can to branch it out. I'm gonna do everything I can to build it out, so that it live when I'm not here no more. But that's the sacrifice that I know I have to take, and I know that I'm willing to take. And you got to be as sure as I am about mine as you are about yours. So thank you, man, for coming back. This is episode number 7. 7, man. We've been going strong 7 weeks in a row. And it's not about the numbers. It's more so I get excited because I've actually done something new. I've done it alone and I've done it for 7 weeks straight. I'm proud of me, man. I am proud of me. This can fall flat on deaf ears. It cannot reach people. I'm just so excited for myself and so proud of myself for just starting something, sticking with it, going through the sacrifices of what it takes to create a podcast and get it to people. I'm just excited, man. I'm just excited that you're here with me. Thank you for your support, man. Thank you for your appreciation of this. Thank you for coming back each week, man. Thank you for sharing your stories as well. I hope you've gotten something valuable from this episode, number 7, the American Rat Race. I hope there's something that you can share. Please subscribe, man. Do me a favor, subscribe. My birthday's coming up. If you want to give me a present, subscribe to the podcast, man. That's all I ask. Give me a comment, give me a like. Let me know what you're thinking about it, man. If you want to come up season 2, I'll let everybody know now. Season 2, we're gonna have some guests. I'm gonna tell you right now, I have no idea how we're gonna do this, but I'm telling you, it's coming. So when we get to season 2, you're gonna see another face alongside of mine. I have no idea how God's gonna make this happen. I've already given it to him. He gonna make it happen in some way, shape, or form. We gonna stay faithful, and we are gonna do what we can do while we can, man. Until next time, keep chasing that vision, y'all. Peace.